Hello, welcome back, Recapped Mystery here. Today, I'm going to explain a comedy, action, crime film, Army of Thieves. Watch out and take care. Sebastian is a YouTuber from Germany. He narrates a story about a building in Munich owned by a well-known locksmith named Hans Wagner. He was a diligent worker until his wife and son died suddenly, at which point he began work on the greatest work of art. He built 4 safes. According to legend, attempting to force open the locks will result in the contents being burned. Hans constructed another safe and locked himself inside. People attempted to free Hans from his self-made tomb, but his work was brilliant. Hans's grave was the safe in which he died, which was sunk into the water with his body still inside. 3 of his 4 safes, the Rheingold, the Valkyrie, and the Siegfried, are said to be still in use. Although their whereabouts are unknown, nobody knows what happened to the 4th vault, the Goddard Emerald. He concludes his video by asking viewers to hit the like and subscribe buttons. While the video is being posted, he solves an 8-second lock on his table and is pleased with himself. The YouTube algorithm is one thing he can't seem to figure out. Sebastian then returns to his mundane existence, grabbing a coffee and a muffin, opening the bank, and getting ready for work. His typical day consists of being screamed at by elderly people. As he tries to divert his attention away from the lady in front of him, an engaging TV show comes on. He hands her the bill, and she walks away. On his lunch break, Sebastian checks his channel. He has received his first comment and watch, and he is overjoyed. He is told in the comments to come to a certain location if he wants to put his skills to the test. He arrives at the spot in the evening. He gives a big tough guy a password provided in the comments and is allowed in. Sebastian is the last person to take part in the safe cracking. He is still perplexed and attempts to ask a close competitor, but he simply ignores him. The host instructs everyone to begin, and everyone except him begins cracking the safe. The MC reminds them that just 4 people will advance to the following round. He then starts and manages to finish in 4th place. 4 contenders are still alive for the semi-finals. The spectators place their wagers and begin breaking open the safe. Neo is the first to open the safe, followed by Sebastian. They have 3 minutes in the final to burst open the door. Neo is certain of his ability. When the host says to begin, Neo does, but Sebastian takes his time. He looks at Neo and places his palm on the door, as if detecting the mechanisms behind it. He makes small chat with Neo and has yet to begin with 1 minute left. He starts and opens the safe with less than a second to spare. In the last 30 seconds, Neo tries to leap over him, but Big Tough Guy stops him. The audience applauds, and he recognizes a woman among them all, Gwendolyn. Sebastian's life will be changed by her. He would eventually learn numerous things about her, such as how she stole her first watch when she was 6. How her heart was destroyed when she was 16, how she stole her first car, and how she received a red notice from Interpol when she was 17. But, right now, in the basement, he has no idea. Later, at home, he displays his prize with family photos. He's obviously pleased that he was given the opportunity to demonstrate his abilities. When he goes to grab his coffee in the morning, he is startled by Gwendolyn and spills it on his own. She tells him that she was his first commentator and video viewer. He inquires as to her identity. Gwendolyn responds that she is the one who will permanently transform his life. She has been observing him and his behaviors, and she is aware that he is constantly alone. She begins to inform him that she has just been in the Cafe Tilde copyright for 7 minutes and has already stolen a woman's ring, someone's watch, and the man in the back corner, his weapon. She bluntly states it. She's an internationally sought jewelry thief looking to recruit Sebastian. She informs him that no one knows more about Hans Wagner than he does, which is why they require him. Because of the epidemic in America, the safes in Geneva will be decommissioned within the next 96 hours. This is his chance to crack the 3 puzzle safes Hans built. Gwendolyn takes his hand in hers and gives him an address to go to if he wants to join them. He goes about his everyday, uninteresting existence until one day, while watching news about America's plight, he decides to do it. Gwen greets Sebastian when he arrives at the address. Inside, he meets Corina, the logistics manager and a brilliant hacker, Rolf. the getaway driver. There is no one faster than him, even Nicolas Cage would struggle to keep up. Brad Cage, their real-life action hero, is the final one. He grew up watching a lot of Nicolas Cage films. That's the entire team. Corinna tells Sebastian about their strategy. The Rheingold is located in Paris, France, and has 413 million combinations. The Valkyrie is located in Prague, Czech Republic, and has 235 billion combinations. The Siegfried is located in St. Moritz, Switzerland, and has 72 trillion combinations and is estimated to hold up to $100 million. Bly Tanaka, the infamous millionaire, owns all of the vaults. They have no time to spend, so they travel to Paris, where Sebastian gets cold feet just as they are about to enter a credit union. They go over the plan, and Sebastian walks in first, straight to the toilet. Gwen follows him, takes the guard's key, and requests a safety deposit box under a fictitious name. Corinna will walk in, and the cashier will be the only one who can assist her because no one else speaks English. Gwen slips out and picks up Sebastian before they descend into the vault. Everything went according to plan, and they found themselves in the vault chamber. The vault is known as the Rheingold. He wastes a lot of time before starting by giving Gwen the story behind the safe. She is uninterested and simply wants him to begin, but he continues with the story of how the gold for the safe was gotten and begins calling it his love. He puts on Das Rheingold and starts singing. All the locks fall into position, and the vault is unlocked, thanks to the whirring and cranking of some mechanism inside. Sebastian and Gwen are ecstatic. She reminds him that it's not about money, but about becoming legends. He almost kisses her but decides against it. Then Sebastian goes out, and Gwen follows, completing their first heist. Interpol agent Delacroix has learned about the team's recent heist. Beatrix questions why this is relevant right now, when America is facing a zombie apocalypse. Surveillance cameras captured the offenders, and Interpol knows they are on the hunt for all of the vaults, with just 2 chances left to apprehend them. The crew is currently engaged in a game of beer pong. Brad asserts his authority with a perfectly legal throw behind his back. Over sandwiches, Sebastian befriends Rolf and chats with Corinna, who wants to make out with him but his gaze is fixed on Gwen. Corinna informs him that Brad and Gwen are dating, but that their relationship is not going well right now. Sebastian then pays a visit to Gwen in her room, where she explains Brad's name to him. If Brad Pitt and Nick Cage had a child, the child would be named Brad Cage. He's just an egotistical person. Sebastian tells her about his boyhood dream of having a fancy name like Ludwig Dieter. They converse for hours about themselves, with Gwen doing the majority of the talking and Sebastian simply appreciating her. Meanwhile, Brad is enraged that his girlfriend is preoccupied with that rat. Gwen begs him to sit next to her and tells him that when they finish their mission, she'd like to go to America, Nevada, because the Gotterdammerung, the 4th vault, is said to be there. The following day, the crew heads to Prague. Delacroix is waiting for them there. Brad is not fond of Sebastian. They've arrived at their next bank, and the group is serious about doing business. Sebastian is terrified but certain that he can open Hans' safe. Sebastian disguises himself as an accountant and declares that he is inside. Corinna's hacking has made his false ID scan positive. Corinna leads him around the corridors till she has to break off the communication. Unsure of what to do next, he enters a room he shouldn't have, and the guards discover that he has vanished from view of the cameras. He meets Gwen in the lift, and the two of them descend to the vault chamber. They are hailed by 2 guards as the door is open. Gwen easily defeats them both with a couple Jackie Chan moves. So Sebastian gets to work building the Valkyrie. He relates another story about the folklore that surrounds it. The Interpol has yet to locate the crew, so Delacroix becomes agitated and concludes that they are most likely already inside. Corinna realizes they are on them when the guards realize someone is in their system and lock all the doors. It's time to implement Plan B. The Interpol arrives to the building and discovers that they are in the incorrect bank. They changed their safe deposit box to a more reputed bank. Brad enters the room wearing a mask and shoots a couple guards with tranquilizer darts, knocking them unconscious while beating up the rest. He initiates Plan B, the robbery. Sebastian finally begins to laugh. His attempt fails, and the safe handles pull back, leaving only one handle pushed out if he makes another mistake. The safe is permanently locked. He's experiencing difficulties, but he's making progress. Then another handle appears, followed by a third. He cracks the Valkyrie and unlocks all of its wealth. They applaud and embrace. They almost kiss, but Corina requests status through comms because they don't have much time. Gwen and Sebastian pack their belongings and go for the door. Brad is ready to leave when he is stopped by a security guard. He diverts his attention by jumping from a railing. He fights with the guard and is shot before jumping out the window. Despite the chaos, the couple manages to flee unseen. They attempt to get into the automobile as it begins to move. Brad assists Gwen, but when Sebastian takes his hand, he throws him out instead of drawing him in. Except for Brad, all of the members appear distressed. Sebastian is being pursued by the cops after attempting to steal a bike. He nevertheless manages to rob a random bystander. "I'll save you the bicycle acrobatics for the time being." He escapes the cops by riding down a tiny path and boarding a moving train. Corina informs them in the van that Sebastian hasn't been apprehended yet, or that it hasn't been announced. The original intention was to let Sebastian go after the final theft, but Gwen is still unhappy that Brad abandoned him on the street like a sacrificial goat. Rolf was even growing fond of him. Gwen is concerned about how they will handle Siegfried's absence, but Brad assures her that they have enough money to retire twice. It's not about the money for Gwen. Brad's last-ditch effort to keep Gwen is to tell her he loves her, but she is unconcerned and leaves. Corina pursues her and determines how they will breach the next vault. Sebastian has made it home, where the girls are waiting for him, but he is unaware of their presence. After they discuss what to do, they decide to yell surprise, which Corina does, shocking him and causing him to spill his hot drink on himself. Gwen expresses her regret. That's all there is to it. He claims that whether he forgives her or not, they will go and he will return to his boring existence. Gwen gives him a lengthy speech about how much she needs him, how he's the only one who can crack the safe, and how they're going to make history. Sebastian settles in, takes a sip of whatever he's drinking, agrees, and inquires about the strategy. Meanwhile, the Interpol agent decides to do some YouTube research. He searches for Hans Wagner and discovers Sebastian's video, which instantly connects him to the thief. The video was uploaded 1 minute ago, and the remark was left 2 weeks ago. Sebastian fantasizes about zombies. When he awakens, they are on their way to St. Moritz, the location of their previous quest. Interpol agents are stationed in every corner of the last vault, which is housed in a casino. The vault will be moved in 2 hours. They decipher an encrypted communication from the team stating that they will attack the casino at 5 a.m. It seems too good to be true, but they wait until 5 p.m. and enter the casino nevertheless. A management there informs them that they are aware of the risk and have already taken measures. When he asks who told them, she says Interpol, and the safe was seized an hour and a half ago. It was almost too fantastic to be true. Delacroix has been performed. 8 hours before, Corina contacts the manager and informs her of the robbery as she reschedules the safe transfer. Gwen managed to sneak into a car and remain hidden before beating up the 2 guards and abandoning them on the road. They made certain that the phony coded transmission was intercepted by Interpol. They took the Siegfried out of the casino and loaded him onto the vehicle. Gwen and Sebastian are disguised as guards. In the present, following his typical warm-up, Sebastian turns on music and begins telling Gwen the story of the safe while talking to the safe. Meanwhile, when the cops depart the casino, Brad is outraged that his crew betrayed him, although they did not, because they split up. He locates Gwen using Find My iPhone, and Corina discovers and tries to stop them, but they drive away and the cops apprehend her, but not before she sends Gwen her final message. Sebastian is on the 6th of 7 handles and is currently cracking the safe. He slaps on the safe and the gear kicks in place after a few rapid spins. He's successfully broken the Siegfried. Despite the fact that Brad and the cops are still on their heels, they open the safe, fill their bags, and Brad awaits them. From action hero to villain to jerk, Brad tries numerous times to shoot Sebastian, but Gwen has removed the firing pin. When she and Brad dispute, Sebastian loses his cool and lunges at him. Hitting him, Gwen ties them to the truck and escapes with Sebastian. After that miserable spectacle, Brad and Rolf are apprehended by the police. Gwen appreciates Sebastian's attempt to advocate for her. He tells her he really likes her, and despite the horrible time, she ends up kissing him, and she really likes him too. They make their way to the boat with the money. Delacroix has finally caught up with them, so they've come to a halt. Guns drawn, Gwen strikes a bargain with Delacroix. If he lets Sebastian free, he can take her. The agent agrees, but Sebastian does not. Gwen yells at him and promises him she will find him and they will solve the Götterdämmerung together. He finally gets on the boat and leaves. He is saddened when he checks his false passport under the name Ludwig Dieter and discovers that she has purchased a ticket to the same destination as she is. He wanted to be with her more than anyone else in the world. He had a feeling they'd rejoin and solve the Götterdämmerung. A while later, a woman and a man in California enter into a locksmith shop and discover Sebastian. They show him the Götterdämmerung blueprints and ask him if he can crack them. He smiles. Please subscribe to assist the channel, turn on notification and leave a like. Thank you for taking the time to watch. See you again soon.